What's going on, everybody? C4 here today, continuing with the Madden 18, Madden 17 roster reveal. And I assume by today we have hit 35,000 subscribers, and you have been able to get your hands on that roster, which means we're trying to more so fine-tune the bottom half of the teams that we still have to go. I think we only have less than 10 teams to go, so it's more so I'm putting these out there, and if there was any ratings that you agree or disagree with, I should fine-tune them to make these rosters the best rosters available. But if we haven't hit 35,000 subscribers, we're releasing these at 35,000 subscribers. What these rosters are pretty much my ratings, Pro Football Focus, their stats after last year, all rookies for the first 3 rounds, rounds 4 to undrafted free agent. I've included the notable guys. And yeah, that's pretty much, that's just the Cliff Notes version. If you want to see more in-depth about everything you're going to see today, go check out the Philadelphia Eagles episode where I go well into, everything, all the intricacies of the roster. So today we're looking at the Arizona Cardinals, a team that definitely needs to, they're kind of this season coming up, Hail Mary to try to win a Super Bowl. Because it might be the last year for Carson Palmer. It might be the last year for Larry Fitzgerald. So jump to the quarterback spot. We gave Carson Palmer an 84 overall. Last season wasn't his best season. 6-8-1 in 16 games played. He had 4,200 passing yards, 26 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions. A down year opposed to the previous years he's had with the Arizona Cardinals. But still, he's not a bad quarterback. Still serviceable. And if they can, keep him upright and they have all their weapons on the field, he can certainly lead them to another playoff appearance. So I'm going to say 84 is about fair for Carson Palmer, who, really hasn't looked like the same kind of guy after that horrific 4th interception performance in the playoffs a couple seasons ago. We have Gabbert 72 as a backup, Stanton and Dysert here. Down to the running back spot, we have David Johnson, who we gave a 95 overall, which is the second highest by 1 point. Running back in my rosters, only to Le'Veon Bell, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Spoiler. Last year, David Johnson had 1,200 rushing yards, 16 touchdowns, 80 catches, 880 receiving yards, and 4 touchdowns to go for 2,100 yards from scrimmage and 20 total touchdowns. For my money, he was the best running back. Just because there's a certain running back in Pittsburgh that's been doing the same kind of thing for a couple more seasons is why we gave him a little bit of a nod. Plus, Bell had the suspension. If he would have played the full 16 games, it would have been, really, really close who would have finished. So I kind of compensated for that. But David Johnson is one of the most exciting, electrifying running backs in the NFL. The fact that he's pretty much a wide receiver, but also when he's a running back, he's like a power back. He can truck guys over. He's literally the perfect type of player. Coming off a tough injury, hopefully he can bounce back 100%. He was a first-team All-Pro, Pro Bowler, 95 all day long. We have Andre Ellington here as a 78, but I'm pretty sure I've heard that they're switching him to a wide receiver role. Kerwin Williams, and once you get in the roster, you could probably add TJ Logan, a running back they drafted fairly late. Obviously, we didn't have enough rookies to make him. But yeah, that is this roster. Obviously, the limitations of offline player management is frustrating as always. No fullback. Jump to the wide receivers. We gave Larry Fitzgerald a 90 overall. Some people might be saying this is a little too high for Larry Fitzgerald, coming off 107 catches, just over 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns. But again, it's a downgrade. Wasn't his strongest season, but I had him as a 92 rating. So because of the down year, he docked down to a 90. I didn't want to dock him too much, as he is one of the, for me anyway, since I've been a fan, I don't necessarily think there's too many wide receivers that are better than Larry Fitzgerald. Definitely top 10 in my opinion wide receiver all time. So maybe that's why we're putting some respect on his name and giving him a 90. We gave John Brown, coming off a down year in terms of his availability, an 81 overall. I think I had him as an 84, 85, but down to an 81 after he only featured and started in 6 games. And he had 39 catches for 500 yards and 2 touchdowns. I think he made appearances in 15, but I think he had like headaches or something wrong with his head. But he still, when healthy, was one of the more electrifying players in the NFL. So if he does come back healthy, I'm sure this rating will shoot up after a couple games. We have J.J. Nelson here, kind of filled the void as the deep threat when John Brown was out. So we gave him a 78 overall, up from, I don't know what the hell, he was like a 69 or something like that in my previous rosters. J.J. Nelson last season finished the year with 34 catches, 568 yards, and 6 touchdowns. I think he had 7 touchdowns totally in a rushing one. Incredible deep threat. Was pretty much one of those guys that just ran a fast 40 time at the combine and was a project-type player. And Bruce Arians, one of the best coaches in the NFL, was able to finally put it all together for him and get it going. I think really the emergence, with the hope that John Brown can get back and stay healthy, and the emergence of J.J. Nelson, I think that really did make the Michael Floyd cut when they had to make that move last season a little bit more easier to make. We have Jerron Brown here, 73. Jeremy Ross. Chad Williams is a surprising pick. It's really tough to evaluate him, so I'm having him as a 66. So I think that was a little bit of a reach, but there are people saying that he could be a phenom in Bruce Arians' scheme. So I'm going to have to wait and see. Maybe we can adjust this rating after the preseason for sure. And Golden here with a 63. At the tight end spot, we have Jermaine Gresham, who we gave a 77 overall last season, 37 catches for 390 yards and 2 touchdowns, and graded out very, very well from Pro Football Focus in terms of run blocking. So that's where we get a lot. Obviously, that stat line's not really anything special, especially for a starting tight end in a... No, I don't want to necessarily say they're a pass-heavy offense because David Johnson has so many rushing yards, but I think when push comes to shove, they're throwing the ball a lot more than any other team. The fact that your tight end only had that stat line, a lot of the 77 overall for Gresham comes for run-blocking stats. We have Nicholas, 74. Fenny Mama, Eagle fans remember him, 66, and their long snapper here, 45. Jumping to the offensive line, Jared Veld here, we gave him an 81. Pro Football Focus gave him a low 80s grade, so we still slap him with that. I think maybe a bounce-back year for everyone on this offensive line. If, Carson Palmer can really execute and everyone can stay healthy, I'm sure he'll bounce back up. We have Will Holden here, 59. I could probably get adjusted a little bit more. He is a project-type player, the tackle from Vandy. But obviously you could just knock that up a couple points if you're a Cardinal fan using these rosters. Left guard, we have Mike Iupati, who gave a 77 overall last season. Pro Football Focus gave him a 76. So he was, I think, at an 81. The fact that he's a 76, we just give him the 1-point buffer to a 77. They got Dorian Johnson. They dropped out of Pitt. I really do like that selection there at left guard. At center, they have AQ Shipley, who gave an 82 overall last season. Pro Football Focus gave him an 82.3. So that's about then. Fairly underrated center. Right guard, we have Cole Toner, who gave a 69 overall. Currently on OurLads.com is slated to be the starting right guard. No more Evan Mathis. Oh, he was the GOAT. But, yeah, that's we have Cole Toners, their starter at Harvard. And at right tackle, we have DJ Humphrey, 73. Couldn't find his Pro Football Focus rating, so I just assumed that he's slated to be the starter. We'll give him a 73. Gator bias, as always. You see it just labeled throughout my videos. We have the bunch of other guys here at the right tackle spot, but Humphrey should be their starter. Looking at left defensive end, we have Rodney Gunter, who we gave a 68 overall, which is kind of low for a starter, but what did he do last year? Last year, Rodney Gunter had 1 start at defensive tackle, had a sack and a half, and 15 tackles. 68 is about as high as you can go. I don't think you go much higher than like 71, and that's being generous. Right defensive end, we have Robert Kimdichie, who I think he had half a tackle last season. So originally we had him as a 76 as a rookie, knocking down to 72. Still some potential there, so I'm going to give this kind of like a wait-and-see rating. Maybe he'll make an impact in preseason, but with all the names that the Cardinals lost throughout free agency this year, they're going to need these guys to step up in a big way on the defensive side of the ball. At defensive tackle, we have Corey Peters, who we gave a 74 overall last season. Corey Peters, what did he do? I think he was a nose tackle, so obviously his stats weren't that great. He had 14 starts, he had 20 tackles, and a safety. A lot of this comes against the run, eating up space, so that's why we give him a 74. We have Xavier Williams, 65. Again, defensive line, not great at all here on the Cardinals. But the linebacking core is very good. We have Marcus Golden, who we gave an 87 overall last season. In 3 games started, 16 appearances. He had 1 pass deflection, 4 forced fumbles, 12.5 sacks, and 50 total tackles. He's very underrated as an edge rusher. And I think in terms of a 3-4 outside linebackers, the Cardinals may have the best in the NFL. May have. Middle linebacker, we have Deion Buchanan, who we gave a 79 overall last season. Buchanan had 13 games played, 13 appearances, 2 pass deflections, 1 fumble recovery, and 60, 70, 80, just shy of 90 total tackles. It's one of those things I was kind of surprised to see that his pass deflection, stuff like that, his production in terms of dropping back and shipping in like some zone defenses, some man defenses against tight ends and running backs were so low. But maybe that's because guys like, Tony Jefferson and stuff like that, I think with now Tony Jefferson no longer being there, maybe they'll have a little bit bigger playbook for Buchanan to play more of a coverage role. But a 79 is what we have to give him right now. They have Carlos Dansby coming over from the Cincinnati Bengals with a 76, old veteran type player that could still be productive. They have Hassan Riddick, who they selected at a Temple with a 72 overall. Athletic freak, really needs to put it all together. Still kind of a project type player, but I think long term this is a great pick for the Arizona Cardinals. We have Scooby Wright, the beast from Arizona, 68. Gooden, 65, and Fua, 61. And a right side linebacker, we have Chandler Jones, 89 overall, 16 starts last season. He had 3 pass deflections, 4 forced fumbles, 11 sacks, and just shy of 50 tackles. So again, him and Marcus Golden were absolutely wreaking havoc off the edge, and totally these two guys can kind of compensate for the weak defensive front 3 that they have. If Kimdichie really turns it on, which he could, we don't really know. It might not be as bad as I'm kind of leading it on to be. but I'm just a little skeptical, especially against the run. We'll wait and see. They have Jarvis Jones coming over from the Pittsburgh Steelers with a 77. Maybe that's a little bit high. We could knock that down to like a 75, 74. Jumping to the secondary, we gave Pat Pete a 90 overall. Statistically speaking, not an exceptional year, not a great year from him. Made the Pro Bowl, had 16 starts. He had 3 interceptions, 6 pass deflections, and 50 tackles. But he's a shutdown corner, and 90 overall. I don't think you'll find too many people that upset with that 90 overall. We have Bethel here is more of a special teamer than he is anything, 72. We have Harlan Miller and Brandon Williams. Both these guys are probably going to have increased roles as cornerbacks. They lost Marcus Cooper, who was, their first on the team in interceptions, first in the team in pass deflections. They lost overall. They lost DJ Swearinger. They lost Tony. They got depleted. There's no other way around it. They got absolutely depleted in the offseason on the defensive side of the ball. So they're going to need Brandon Williams and Harlan Miller. Both these guys, Harlan Miller had 2 games played. He had a pick that went 50 yards, and he had a pass deflection. But not a whole lot there, to be honest with you. We're going to have to wait and see. There's a lot of wait and sees here on the Cardinals defense. At free safety, we have Honey Badger with an 87 overall. Honey Badger last season, in 10 games played, had an interception. He had 4 pass deflections. He had a forced fumble. He had a sack and 35 total tackles. And then you have Budda Baker, who they selected out of Washington. I like that pick a lot. Big thing right now is that I think you might have the luxury. Both these guys, I think, have the versatility to contribute as a cornerback right away. So I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe at the end of training camp one of these guys be listed as a corner, because there's too much depth to have one of these guys not on the field right now. I think Budda Baker could come in and start as a nickel corner on that team. And Honey Badger, obviously we saw when he was able to play corner, I think 2 years ago, graded out insanely high from Pro Football Focus. So I wouldn't be surprised to see one of these guys do that. At strong safety, we have Tyvon Branch, who's getting an 81 overall. Last season, Tyvon Branch only had 5 appearances, 4 pass deflections, and 27 tackles. Maybe the 81 is a little bit high. It's just the transition. For some reason, he got a big juke. I think I had him as a 78 free safety. When I made him to a strong safety, he's an 81 now. So yeah, probably most of you guys are going to say we should downgrade that a little bit, which I totally could do. And we have Bethea, who's coming over from the 49ers, I believe, here with a 76. Kicker Chandler Catanzaro was one of the worst kickers in the NFL, but just because I didn't want to give him too severe of a downgrade, as I think he was a 79, we got him down to a 74. And we have Matt Weil, 71 overall for a punter. So there you go, guys. So those are your Madden 18, Madden 17 Arizona Cardinal rosters. Let me know in the comment section below if you agree or disagree with any of the ratings you see. If this is your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. 35K plus. Come on, let's keep going. Get this Madden 18 season done right on Beast Mode TV. And until next time, it's C4.